Liberalism. It is built on the idea that every individual has fundamental rights. It emphasizes government accountability and equality before the law. Liberalism promotes free markets, elections between multiple political parties, a separation of powers across different branches of government, and the separation of religion from the state. At its core, it values personal freedoms like speech, religion, assembly, and the press. Moderatism. Moderatism is all about staying within the Overton window, the range of policies considered acceptable by the mainstream population. Moderates often take a balanced, middle ground approach, avoiding extreme views on either side. In many cases, moderates are relatively apolitical, with only a basic understanding of politics and a preference for stability over drastic changes. Authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is characterized by the centralization of power in a single leader or governing body. It limits individual freedoms and demands strict obedience to authority. In such systems, the government exerts control over many aspects of life, often suppressing dissent and opposition to maintain order and power. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system that revolves around private ownership and the pursuit of profit. Its defining characteristics include private property, free exchange of goods and services, competition to drive innovation and efficiency, and the division of labor to maximize productivity. It relies on the idea that individuals working for their own gain will ultimately benefit society as a whole. Anarchism. Anarchism envisions a society without rulers or centralized authority. It advocates for replacing the state with voluntary, self-managed associations that allow people to govern themselves freely. The focus is on maximizing individual freedom and creating a system where cooperation and mutual aid replace hierarchical control. Socialism envisions a system where workers collectively own the means of production and manage them democratically. It advocates for democratic self-management in workplaces, higher taxation on the wealthy to redistribute wealth more equitably, and the nationalization of key industries to ensure essential services are accessible to everyone. At its core, socialism emphasizes social ownership and reducing economic inequality. Corporatism. Corporatism organizes society into different sectors based on professions such as agriculture, engineering, or healthcare. In this system, workers, employers, and the state work together to ensure economic efficiency and stability. The goal is to create a system where each group has a role in regulating and managing the economy, theoretically ensuring that all parties, workers, employers, and the government can cooperate to meet their mutual interests. Communism. Communism is centered around the idea of common ownership of the means of production. It allocates resources based on need, ensuring that everyone has access to what they require. In a true communist society, private property, money, and social classes are eliminated, aiming to create a classless society where wealth and power are shared equally among all. Libertarianism. Libertarianism is centered around personal freedom and minimizing government intervention in people's lives. It builds on liberalism's core ideas of equality before the law, but takes them further by advocating for a government that's as limited as possible, focusing primarily on protecting individual rights to life, liberty, and property. Libertarians believe that people should have the freedom to make their own choices without excessive interference from the state. Progressivism. Progressivism rejects the idea that traditions from the past should be preserved at all costs. Instead, it prioritizes societal progress, believing that the future should not be constrained by outdated heritage. It focuses on embracing change to address social issues and improve the lives of all people. Feminism. Feminism advocates for the political, economic, and social equality of all genders, particularly focusing on challenging the systemic inequalities that women face. It works to break down harmful stereotypes, push for equal opportunities in education and the workforce, and ensure that women have the same rights and access as men in all aspects of society. Communitarianism. Communitarianism places a higher value on the community rather than individualism. It advocates for blending policies from both the left and right to create a system that serves the common good. This ideology stresses that personal freedom should not come at the expense of societal well-being, encouraging collaboration for the collective benefit. Separatism. Separatism, also known as secessionism, seeks to create independent nations or states that are separate from an existing political entity. It advocates for the self-determination of a specific group, whether based on ethnicity, culture, or political ideology, believing that they should govern themselves independently from the larger state. Environmentalism. Environmentalism emphasizes the importance of making nature a priority in public policy. It advocates for reducing emissions, promoting recycling, and taking action to combat pollution. The goal is to ensure the sustainability of the planet, addressing environmental issues to protect ecosystems for future generations. Populism. Populism is a political approach that seeks to represent the masses, often positioning itself in opposition to the elites. It aims to give a voice to ordinary people and challenges the political establishment, typically focusing on the belief that the concerns of the common folk should take precedence over the interests of the powerful. Conservatism. Conservatism, as the name suggests, is all about preserving traditional values. In Western culture, this typically means promoting the nuclear family, organized religion, the military, and property rights. It focuses on stability and maintaining the foundations that have historically worked, rather than pursuing drastic changes. Syndicalism. Syndicalism is a branch of socialism that emphasizes the power of worker unions and the use of direct action, such as strikes, to create social change. It advocates for a decentralized society where workers organize themselves into syndicates to manage the economy. Once a post-capitalist society is achieved, syndicalism proposes that these syndicates come together to form a collective governance structure, replacing the need for a central government. Republicanism. Republicanism opposes monarchies, advocating for a system where political power is vested in the citizens rather than a hereditary ruler. It promotes a government organized as a republic, where elected representatives are accountable to the people and work to serve their interests. Imperialism. Imperialism seeks to expand a nation's power and influence, often through military action. Historically, it has supported the idea that stronger nations should dominate and control weaker ones, asserting that imperial expansion benefits both the ruling country and the colonized territories, even if it means subjugation and exploitation. Egalitarianism. Egalitarianism focuses on the idea of equality for all, ensuring that every citizen has equal rights and is treated equally under the law. It emphasizes the removal of societal barriers that create disparities, advocating for fairness and equal opportunity in all aspects of life. Transhumanism. Transhumanism advocates for using technology to overcome the inherent limitations of the human body and mind. Its ultimate goal is to enhance human capabilities, striving for advanced intelligence, physical abilities, and even immortality through technological advancements. Fascism. Fascism unites a nation under a powerful authoritarian government, rejecting individualism in favor of collective strength. It promotes ultranationalism, where loyalty to the nation or state supersedes personal freedoms. Fascist regimes emphasize unity, often through militarism and strong centralized control, and suppress opposition to maintain power. Nazism. Nazism, a form of fascism, is built around the belief in Aryan racial superiority. It employs eugenics to promote what it sees as a genetically pure society, using systemic oppression to eliminate those deemed undesirable. This ideology justifies horrific acts of violence and discrimination against entire groups of people in the pursuit of a racially homogeneous society. I'll be making similar videos, so subscribe to see them.